We're joined by Brinda Jagirdar, the senior economist and the former chief economist of the State Bank. We're also joined by Dr. Sangeeta Reddy. Thank you both very much for being with us. Dr. Reddy, 35,000 crores has been allocated to the COVID vaccination program. This is something obviously very close to your heart. Is that enough, or is that perhaps lower than a lot of people would have expected? The assumption being that a lot of people will be willing to pay from their own pocket to get the vaccine.
So I think what we need to think about, Vishnu, is the fact that this is a public health initiative in the first place. So looking at the organization of the healthcare worker, then the frontline worker, then the vulnerable, the system is in place, cost-effective price for the vaccine is in place. And if you calculate even at this price, approximately 400 rupees per dose, so 800 rupees per individual, you will still get a coverage of about 20 to 30% of the population, which is significant. At the right time of supply and a streamlined system, I'm sure they will open this up for self-purchasing as well. So both streams will evolve concurrently, and India will reach the adequate number of vaccinated people to give us the herd immunity we're looking for. But for right now, I think creating adequate budget to ensure that the first three phases are funded is a significant move. And I think we should be very happy with this, as well as the speed and the scale of the rollout, because that is indeed directly proportionate to the speed of the recovery of the economy.
Right.
So,
okay. Brinda Jagirdar, another question that keeps coming back over and over is the question on Provident Fund, and that it's now going to be taxed beyond a certain limit, which is going to be exempt. A lot of people have been asking, what's the logic in that, and does it make sense in a country where our social security system, particularly for those who who are retiring for whatever the reason may be, is so weak?
You have a point, Vishnu. Because this is something which people have, there are very little avenues for social security in the country. And this is something which the middle class has, put away for long term at the end of the working career. So I think this is one item which the government can relook at, though of course they seem to be very anxious to increase savings, because savings rate in the economy has really gone down. So, and also the government's own revenues have gone down, so perhaps they're looking at this, but I would agree with you that this particular item could definitely, it merits a relook.
Ms. Reddy, would you say the fact that, personal income tax has been untouched, at least to the best of our knowledge, it's not been touched. How should we look at it? I mean, is that something that should be positive? A lot of people are suffering, continue to suffer. On the other hand, the government has not been able to earn as much as it would have liked to. So where do you see the government's decision on income tax?
So I think clearly it's a relief, because what we want to do is protect all sections of the population and handle each one in different ways. The structural reforms which have been put in place, whether it is the long-term patient capital through the development bank, the asset reconstruction, the fiscal deficit and the bold moves towards capital expenditure, all these will spur the economy. And with the growing of the economy and the focus on infrastructure as well as agriculture, you will see employment, enhancing, or more people getting jobs or recovering their jobs. In addition to that, I really want to highlight the fact that enhanced expenditure on healthcare is one of the greatest economic boosters, because not only does it give jobs, but it enhances productivity.
Yeah, over an indefinite period of time, absolutely. I'm out of time. I'd like to thank both of you very much for being with us and sharing those views. I need to take a short break. Be back with the very latest.